Hello everyone. So in this video, I'll just give some simple tips and tricks on how to debug and make sense of your D3.js code. So D3.js as a library is pretty fantastic. We all know that obviously if you're watching this video, you obviously know that you can easily create charts using D3.js. But there are some times where we get stuck and we do not know how this bar is being created or how this line is being created. So in that case, debugging really comes into our help. So it is simple. It is pretty simple as any basic Angular or JavaScript or React, any front-end framework. We just use the Chrome web tools and we just use the debug pointers. One important thing that I like to mention over here is that when we do those things, um, we need to understand that majority of the issues arises in D3.js due to the data issues, due to the data manipulation. Whenever we enter a data, so as you can see in this case, when I'm creating the bars, so yeah, I'll just give you an overview of this project. This project is nothing but a simple bar chart. We have x-axis with us, we have y-axis with us, right? And before anything, just the first point that I would like to say is that D3.js is nothing but a library which creates SVGs, right? So each and every line of code, in our case, it's just creating an SVG, nothing else, right? So you can see, I can just show you what SVG is being created when. You can see that in this code, line number 20 to 26, we're just creating the SVG. Then you can, so I'll just debug it for you. You get the gist of what I'm telling you, right? So as you can see, firstly, we have a bar chart with us. This is the data for the bar chart, and we have some margin setup, some width setup, some hard-coded values. Then we create the x-axis using scaleman, and then we create the y-axis using scale linear. All these things I'm not teaching because obviously you can Google it yourself and chat GPT yourself. So after that, we're creating the bars. The bars are something that are nothing but the rectangles, which we can see over here, right? So this is what we have with ourselves. Now, where to where we make mistakes is basically in the data column. That's why I have some console statements over here, and also in the axis. So creating a chart from D3 is easy, but creating a responsive chart is really difficult. So that's where we come into the picture, right? So as you can see, I'll just show you how it works, right? uh yeah. So let me just inspect this and just refresh the page. Okay. As I refresh the page, you can look at have a look at have a look at your elements tab, right? It is only a div. It's only a div tag, right? Now we go ahead. We take the margins. Uh, then we take this SVG. As I told you, these lines of the code will do just one thing. It will just create the SVG, right? So let's see elements. As you can see now, we have our SVG with us. Inside the SVG is just a translate. Now where this translate came from, it came from this line. As you can see, we have appended a G tag over here. Now we can console on the data that we're sending inside the X scale. You can see the data is nothing but an array. And okay, one more thing. Right now, only this much has been created. Let us go ahead and again, yeah. So as you can see, this line of code just created the x-axis. So I know you get the gist of it, what I'm telling you. This is the simplest way you can debug the D3.js graphs. And that's all for this video. I'll just debug a little more. You can see having console statements at places where there is an data.enter, which is nothing but a for loop. So having console statements over here and having debug pointers over here will highly help you to understand what is going wrong and what is going right in your project. So always have debug pointers over here. Yeah, as you can see, those pointers would really help me to understand how these things are being created. I can also just remove them now as you get the point. And yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you.